My husband's mother initially agreed for him to marry someone else, but when I appeared, she strongly objected. They had a heated argument, and he ended up sleeping in a hotel. From the first day I met him at the company, I was captivated. He looked different from the well-dressed, fragrant men surrounding me every day. He had a rugged, slightly romantic appearance. A few days later, his image kept appearing in my mind. I thought I had to conquer this man. I was confident because no man had ever rejected a beautiful girl like me before. Moreover, I was the daughter of a prominent company director. I hired a detective to investigate everything about him, his home, and his family. The detective revealed that he already had a girlfriend and was about to get married. I hesitated for a moment but then reassured myself, thinking, 30 is not too late for marriage. People still bring each other to court even after getting married. I smiled and devised my plan. On that day, there was a company party, and he was among the guests because his family's company was one of our business partners. I dressed beautifully, showcasing my graceful figure and porcelain skin. When I entered, everyone admired me, but he didn't. He held a glass of wine, stood away from the noisy crowd, and didn't pay any attention to me. My pride awakened. Until now, no man had been immune to my beauty. I approached, pretended to accidentally spill some wine on his shirt, and then apologized awkwardly. In that moment when he looked into my eyes, I realized that he was the man I had been searching for. We had only 2 months until our wedding. I desperately tried to bring him closer to me. I actively appeared wherever he went, creating fake situations to seek his help. However, he acted like a polite gentleman, helping me and then leaving without any ulterior motives. I knew that my father's company was an important partner of his family. I persuaded my father to sign a large contract with his family, worth billions of dollars in profit. Both families arranged a meeting at an upscale restaurant. He appeared, still sophisticated and composed. The dinner was delightful, and I demonstrated my extensive business knowledge. When I caught his mother's gaze, I knew I held the winning card. After dinner, under the pretext of building a long-term business relationship, I invited his mother to have a drink. Then, I hinted that I wanted to give her some commemorative gifts. I went to the shopping center and bought her numerous expensive pieces of jewelry. His mother was delighted. While his family was wealthy, they were nothing compared to mine. Then, I subtly mentioned him and congratulated his mother on having a future daughter-in-law. Upon hearing this, his mother fell silent and didn't seem pleased. She said the future daughter-in-law was just a poor, ordinary teacher. She had been objecting for years, but her son hadn't changed. She muttered, "If the heavens won't yield, the earth will bear it." I proactively asked for his phone number and visited his house. I brought many luxurious gifts. I opened up about my true feelings, took his mother to a beauty spa, and bought her dresses and clothes. Then, I said I regretted meeting him too late and that I wished I had a mother-in-law like her. She hesitated for a moment, then reassured me that she would take. I gave up my ego, the pride of a wealthy young lady, in order to be with you. I knew that the man I had been searching for all this time was you, not those other superficial men. I cannot lose you. I would give up everything as long as I have you. Your mother said that if you didn't marry me, she would commit suicide. She placed a bottle of poison on herself, opened it, and drank. You knelt down, crushed, and agreed. Right after that, you came to me. It was the first time you took the initiative. You asked me just one question: do you regret it? I replied, I will never regret it. The wedding took place quickly, and I took care of everything, as long as you were present. It was the most extravagant wedding, with wealthy businessmen as guests. However, on that day, the groom didn't smile. Your eyes were distant and troubled. I held my emotions back, thinking that once we're married, you will develop feelings for me. On our wedding night, my husband was intoxicated, continuously calling out the name of his former lover. He cried. It was the first time I saw a man shed tears for a woman. I was in pain, a lot of pain. It felt as if someone had stabbed my heart. Maybe I was wrong. 3 months after the wedding, he still hadn't touched me. Night after night, I longed to be his true wife. But no, he came home, slept outside the mosquito net. I lay awake all night, unable to sleep. My husband was like a doorway, so distant and estranged. I left the lights on all night, looking at myself in the mirror. Who am I? The proud girl who had so many men ready to kneel at her feet. Now withered, worn out. 3 months felt like an eternity. The next night, when my husband came home from work, I prepared a glass of orange juice. He hesitated, but I told him that if he didn't drink it, I would cause a commotion for his mother to hear. He drank it, not knowing it was laced with sleeping pills. That night, for the first time, I became his wife. I cried, bitter tears streaming down. The next morning, he woke up startled, looking at me. His eyes were filled with anger and a hint of disdain. His gaze pierced through me. That gaze, I will never forget for the rest of my life. He took out his wallet, pulled out some blue bills, and placed them on the pillow. He said, "This is for last night." He left, and I sat there, filled with sorrow. I was in excruciating pain. I knew I was completely wrong. Trying to snatch a man who belonged to someone else. If a heart doesn't belong to you forever, no matter what you do, it won't change. He loves someone else, so I will return him to that person. I packed my things and left. I returned everything to the house as it was before I came, except for my heart, which was already shattered and lost.